Hi folks, Colin here. So what we're going to be talking about today is puppy socialisation in the first crucial weeks. How are you, mate?
I'm terrific, how's that?
Oh, look at that, he's up against the wall as well. Good stuff. Okay, that's fantastic.
That was through there, but anyway, I managed to do it. I just couldn't get in, but we're here now.
No problem. So when you get a puppy home, and we've learned about the crucial points of socialising them with humans, socialising them with other puppies and other dogs in a safe way, even while you're waiting for their shots to be done. What's the first thing you would train a dog to do when you get it home and it's a young pup, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 weeks of age? What are the things you're going to be training the dog to do at home?
The thing is toilet training the dog, okay? And this is crate training the pup in the house. So if I get in a transport kennel and have the pup in there, he stays in there overnight. It does a couple of things. Number one is that it teaches the dog to be calm in a confined environment. It also conditions the dog for if you're travelling with the dog later on, the dog's used to confined spaces, so the dog's not going to freak out in a transport kennel if you ever transport them later on. And it also makes the dog independent as well, because you can actually put the pup in there, say at 8 o'clock at night, put a sheet over it, make sure it's got ventilation, put a bit of music on if you want, and then from there you can put it outside, and that pup is now staying out there for like 8 hours. Now what actually happens there is that the pup stays in overnight, but in most cases, unless the pup is absolutely desperate and busting to go to the toilet, most pups won't poop or pee on the spot where they're laying in, so they'll hang on to it. And then from there you can put them in for say 2 or 3 hours, take them straight out, put them in the yard, and then when the pup goes to the toilet, you can actually start repeating the word right at the start, like saying pig, 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 or toilet, whatever, every time he does it. So that way the pup learns to go outside of the toilet. Now another thing which fast tracks it is that if the dog is confined to the house only, that becomes his whole world. So what will happen is the pup will be in the lounge room, in the kitchen, hanging around the cupboards and that, and then walk in behind the couch or walk into one of the bedrooms and pop on the floor. And that becomes a whole kennel. So when a dog's in a boarding kennel, the dog's confined to a small pen, so the dog's eating here, sleeping here, pooping there, all within like a 15-foot radius. So when you have the dog in the house, the pup, first thing to do is getting used to going outside to the toilet. Now, one of the things which fast track it and do this at night is that when if you're introducing any new dog to your house there and the dog might start marking territory over the cat and other dogs or people and things like this, then the owner can actually go outside and pee on the area where you want him to pee. So he just goes out there and pees, up to a woman, put it in a cup and throw it there. And what happens in most cases, the new dog, whether it be male or female, will go out to that area there, smell the pee that the owner's there, and they'll pee over the top of it, and then all of a sudden it becomes habit. The dog will start going out there all the time just by putting it in a database. And you can also get poop from another dog and put that in the area there.
There you go, girls.
Mark over top of it.
There you go, girls. Out in the backyard, drop your knickers and waddle around the backyard and teach your dog what to do in the backyard. That's the way to start puppy training your dog. Good stuff.
And as well with the cage, and that should work out pretty good. So there's a little bit of advice there.
Alrighty, cool. Okay. Gaz, now the other thing is manners in food and manners when it comes to opening doors. It's a big issue we come across. Dogs will barge through doors, or they'll be very polite down the park. Okay, now waiting for food and being polite when going through doors. What are the things we should set up during that?
Okay, we'll just get on to with an older pup at the moment there, and probably we have to go back to in probably the last 15 years. There's been a massive push on pure positive training, and what it actually gets down to is that the philosophy is to ignore every single bad behaviour dog does and only reward the good behaviours. So it works well if you're doing detection dogs. It works well if you're doing obedience in classes and shows and things like that. But a lot of the time you need to have like a negative with it as well. So actually a form of correction. Otherwise, the dog will do what he wants when he wants. It doesn't have to be hard or anything like this. It's basically just teaching the dog some boundaries, and it can work. So what actually happens there is that if you've got a dog which, and this just gives you an idea of how far it's got, and I'll just go through a couple of the different methods there. I've got for example, jumping up. We'll just go through the jumping up and then the manners, and it's the same one that we use there as well. But for example, the jumping up in the pure positive way of doing it is basically basically ignoring your dog for 10 minutes while he's jumping on the glass outside the door and that. And then when he calms down, you open the door, and if he goes and walks in, you turn your back, you cross your arms, the dog claws the hell out of your back. While he calms down, you give him some food, you keep spotting food over and over and over. And over a period of weeks and weeks, the dog starts to figure out that he'll sit for the food. But in most cases, you haven't got food on you all the time, and it's too slow to be able to do that. So what we actually do there with the jumping up and also the pushing out the doors and that, we will teach a word, a negative word, which might be which the dog gets the dog attention. And what happens there is that if the dog goes to jump up on you or jump on the door there, if you just keep turning your back there, the dog's going to continue doing that. So what we'll do is we'll put a collar or a check chain or just even a harness, but generally a collar or check chain on the pup. And then from there, so say, hey, fella, how are you? And just pat your chest and tell him he's a good boy and that. And the pup gets all excited, goes, oh, hi, you're really good. And then goes to jump up. And the moment the paws come up, you just hold him, just not hard, just put it over your head, just like this. That's all it is, just quick little pop down like that. And the pup goes, oh, but I'm there. So, hey, no hard feelings. You pat him on the head and say, it's okay, you can jump up if you want. And then after about 2 or 3, the dog goes, no, your treat, I'm not going to jump up there. That's not comfortable. So then what happens, the dog learns very, very quickly. So you can achieve results very quick there. But one of the problems that also happens, and this is where I was saying before, we use the word the pups and the dogs get confused because the dogs are responding to your tonology. So what happens if you're walking the dog on a lead down the street, you're going heel, 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 and you're making all these loud noises there, but the dog's responding to your tones, and now all of a sudden that heel is in the same category as no, bad dog, and so on. So what happens, we want the heel and the stay of it to be heel, good boy, you're a good fella, you're a good fella. So you use praise with the word heel in a goofy voice, and that way the dog associates that with great things, and we use a universal word for any problems, and this is where we just use which gets their attention. So it can be and maybe a correction with it, and that way the dog learns, I don't like this word, or this is not comfortable, and the dog will respond very quickly. And in most cases, the dog will respond and learn the exercise in about 3 corrections, and the dog understands. Otherwise, you might be doing it, hundreds and hundreds of times. And the last thing you want is a dog scared of you, because if you're constantly going, no, don't do that, no, don't do this, and rousing at it, then the dog's going to be vocally dominated by you. One of the interesting things, I went over to do, I was doing some research for my book on dog bite prevention, so I went overseas to London to see Victoria Stillwell, one of the positive trainers over in London. And one of the doctors got up and it was explaining, this is the extent it's got to, they said that if you tell your dog to sit and he doesn't want to sit, he doesn't have to. Both you and the dog must want to participate in the conversation. So that's the extent it's going to. So now people are being guilted into actually putting any discipline or teaching the dog's boundaries. And that's part of the problem. That's why you have so much reactivity these days.
Yeah, all great information, and particularly the tone of voice, Gaz, we're very big believers in that, and there has to be some differences between what the dog's understanding, and the key is consistency. And as we were talking to Seth Pywell in a couple of episodes ago about snake training, and he was talking about the importance of 10 by 10, using 10 different snakes in 10 different locations. So it's about being consistent along the way in different areas as well. And what about if you do end up, you mentioned that pups can get affected by if they get a scare down the park. If that happens, what would you do to reverse the detrimental effects later on of a dog getting a scare?
When they get a scare in the park, like the dog's jumped on him, he's yike, 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 like this, he's going to look for affection. So the pup's going to come straight up to you and be absolutely devastated by that. The first thing I'll be doing is staying at the park for a little bit longer. Don't just pick him up and take him home. Stay at the park for a little bit longer and re-socialise them straight away with other dogs to reverse it. See, in a dog's mind, everything is like pleasure or pain, one of the 2 categories. And what happens, he's probably sees the pup go, wow, you're exciting, and all of a sudden gets flogged. And as a result, he now sees other dogs as pain. So you've got to reverse that to make that pleasure. So immediately And this would be the next day, straight away go back to the park and get him with other puppies and that, and get him interacting with him. The worst thing that you can actually do is take the dog away and go, I'm not going down to that park, it's too dangerous for the dogs, because the last experience that pup had was flogged by another dog. So when he comes in contact with those dogs later on, a few months down the track, his first reaction is going to be submission or fear-based aggression or rolling over, growling, and he'll have all these displays. And then when the dog does it by habit, it then becomes like an automatic reaction. And that automatic reaction is where he doesn't know any other way on how to deal with this bit of stress but to aggress. And that's it. So in other words, as soon as his eyes lock on another dog, it's just like that straight away. Without even thinking, no thought or anything like that, he just aggresses straight away.
Right, and that could probably be said for different experiences. So you've got dog-on-dog aggression, dog-on-human aggression, and dog-on-other animal aggression. And whatever happens in those crucial first weeks, you probably need to spend a bit of time reversing that, because it could be dog-on-human aggression, and that could lead to other things. I've been around to people's houses, and I've had one particular case fitting a radio pet barrier for a dog that was really quite dangerous, and it wasn't meant to be getting out, and it was. But when it came to the training, I wasn't going to go near this dog because it was going to eat me. It was totally unsocialised, and there was only kind of one member in the family. So I'm sure that that could have been fixed at a very young age in the dog's first crucial weeks. So let's touch quickly on, before we do this draw, we'll touch quickly on your special offer. So what do you got for us, Gaz? You've done a special offer for us. So this, for the next how long, how much is your book? And hold the book up again.
Okay, we got the Select and Raise Your Ultimate Dog. There it is there. It's available for $20, which is the normal price. We've put this as an e-book and an audio book, paired it together so you can listen to it in the car or read on your Kindle. And we've also got a 3-hour production where we have 9 dogs showing them how to do all the basics, from not jumping on you in one session, how to get the dog to walk on a loose lead in 60 seconds. So we've got 9 dogs going through, so it shows you how to do all that. Plus we've got about 15 to 20 behaviour problems, which is the most common behaviour problems. Now the whole lot was, to do this in a private lesson, it's usually $300 to have me go out there and take care of it all. But the whole lot, we put it down as a $49 special. And now what we've done is that we've reduced it for the the week before Christmas. You get the whole package complete for $10. So big bargain.
But wait, there's more. Gaz is also going to throw in 3 hours of video of the ultimate private lesson with Gaz. So that's your own private video, and that'll cover everything from how to walk on a loose lead in less than 60 seconds and how to stop a dog jumping up. So look, I'd go over to gazjackson.com. I've seen the homepage today. The price has dropped down to $10. Great bargain, even if you were just going to share this video for that special offer for the next 5 or 6 days. And also put your name down to get Gaz's next book as well. Gaz, show us the other book, the one you're writing at the moment.
It's actually just about complete. And this is actually for a tribute to dog trainers, because what actually happens is that no one knows how difficult it is being a dog trainer, how much the hell you've got to go through training dogs. And this covers my entire career, right from the 80s when I trained my first dogs, all the way through with all the detection dogs, and all the behind-the-scenes stuff, what happened privately as well as business-wise. So it's a full autobiography which goes from 1968 to 2018. I'm actually writing the last passage of this book in January, and then it goes into the publisher for editing, and it'll be available Australia-wide on the bookstores from about May next year. But the great news is with it, we've sent out the first round of reviews. Now, it's had 20 people review the book, and the most common thing we get is that, my God, we can't put it down. It just is so full on. It's incredible. So the reviews are fantastic. So it's actually tagged from Canine World First to Murder and Mayhem, and there's very good reason for it, and none of that's given away until the book comes out. But it's an absolute, if you like crime thrillers, if you like psychological thrillers, it is all in this one book. You won't believe the life I've had.
Sounds fantastic, Gaz. That's great. Hey, look, thanks for all that information. We've been on air for a little while now. We do look forward to having you on again. And look, if you're a ranger watching this, you can actually contact Gaz, and he does come out and do bite training, etc. What do you do, Gaz, when you go out to see the shires?
Yeah, we do dog bite prevention around the world. So the animal control officers, we go there and teach them how to get in and out of yards without being attacked by dogs, and how to defend yourself in a dog attack, and also canine body language as well. So it's a big thing. I travel all over Australia doing this, and also do tours in New Zealand as well. So it's pretty good. Now, we've also got just a big one as well. The book that's available, you can actually go to the website and you can put your name down. We send you a notification and you'll get a copy of the pre-release. So you can book that down. We'll let you know when the pre-release is out, and you'll get that about 4 weeks before it goes public. And also, since we've been on there, I've been getting notification after notification. We've had a bucket load of downloads of the book, so that's been happening at the moment, which is great. So people are taking advantage of that $10 offer.
All right, cheers, guys. Bye.